we are going to talk about a couple things. I want to identify a few things as we get started. I believe that knowledge is power. However, I am also very convinced that the application of knowledge is what is so powerful. So hopefully today I embark upon some golden nuggets for you, knowledge nuggets that you'll be able to use as you begin and embark upon your career, or maybe enhance your already embarked upon career. I want to talk about protocol. And I want to talk about this because we have conference calls, and when you come to the conference calls, I want us to make sure we're setting a really good tonality. For the future guests that start coming and they start hearing the camaraderie of the team and they start to hear how we all work together, you want that to be inviting. And so, you know, when you don't bring a guest, somebody else has brought a guest that day, and we need to all do our best to make those people know that we're all excited and that we're welcome. When you come to my home and you actually walk through that front door, if you've been invited to a party, everybody reaches out and says, oh, hi, and they all start to tell you who they are. Or I say, hey, everybody, or hey, so-and-so, this is, and I invite you, and because we can see you, we introduce you. Well, on a phone, we can't see you. So, and because we don't always have those chimes that ring in and tell us you're there, when asked who's on the call or if you've come to the call, start learning how to come into the call being really strong and powerful. State your name, where you're from. This gives us absolutely the excitement of getting to know your voice, who you are, and starts to give you that recognition where we know that you're on those calls on a regular basis. So as you step up and later on as a leader, people say, oh, I know that person, they're always on the call. And I'm going to tell you a couple little secrets that you need to know about so that we're still, as we grow bigger and bigger and bigger, you're still participating, even if it's something you're already heard of or what you've done. But when you also leave the house, everybody says goodbye, and they say goodbye to each other, so they do the same thing. You reach out and say goodbye. On the phone, you need to do the same thing. So there are some people who have some great acronyms of life, or there are good statements about yourself. So if you came to the call and you said, hey, this is Carlin checking in again, or you want to use an acronym of something fun, or you want to say something exciting, and you start to recognize people's name and their acronym and who they are, find something that you get passionate about life and that you get excited about, and bring that excited voice to a call. And, you know, while we're on the subject of protocol, here's some really good things. When we come to calls, we don't talk negative. We don't basically discuss, oh, I had a guest, they didn't show up, or I'm sorry I'm late, because if everybody gave us all of the excuses, we'd spend the first 15 minutes hearing all the excuses. So it doesn't matter what happened, but the bottom line is you got there and you're present, so that we make that known. Now, of course, when a call is started, if it's already muted and you'd hear that when you came on the line, then there's no reason to worry about that. But we do want to hear your voice if you leave. If you're there, that's really cool. And not that I got here late and I just wanted to let you know I'm here. You know, we'll know. The bottom line is keep it upbeat, keep it positive, keep it exciting. Now, if you have a guest on the line, state your name and say, hey, I've got such a, this is so-and-so, and I just wanted you to know I have a guest on the line today. Please, everybody, welcome my guest, and say their name. And so help them to get that presence, like you've invited them into the party and that you're introducing them to the rest of your family and friends. Make those people feel special. And we all have to make each other feel special, because you'll hear that. People start, you heard like what happens today. It's like, oh, hi, Coach Joe. Hey, hi, Clay. People start getting excited about hearing your presence on the call, and they start to know who you are because you shared words of wisdom, or you've had some fun, and people start to acknowledge that. This becomes so powerful as we start to build a group. And when we have a sign-off and everybody says, okay, this concludes our call, and we open the lines to sign you off, state your name and say goodnight. You know, so long, everybody. Goodbye. Make it exciting. You know, see you on the next call. Get involved. This is your first place to start speaking out and start bringing yourself to the forefront, which will give you more confidence and a little bit more courage. And it will also it will change your posture when you start working how to work those phones and talk to prospects. you'll start to have a level of confidence, and you'll feel it as you're talking or things start to happen. You'll find your shoulders come back. You'll find all of a sudden you raise your head higher, and you start to feel good. And it releases those wonderful endorphins that help you to actually have a great day. No, everybody wants, we all go through life, and we all have all these things that happen to each and every one of us that just don't feel so good through life. So wouldn't it be nice to just make the world a better place? We come in and brighten it up, and as we leave, it's like, oh, man, we're sorry everybody's going because really it was a lot of fun. So that's what we want to create, because when people are having fun, everything starts to work together. You're going to feel better about what I'm sharing with you. And so please, 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 if you've heard this morning or you've listened to this recorded training, share it with your team so they start to become part of your excited group as well. So when you're doing a call, we're passing the knowledge of some protocol right on through. Now continue on protocol. No negative talk, no negative crosstalk. We don't splash companies or other things across the line. Those are kind of some standard rules. And most of the leaders, they know how to set the tone for the call. But we just we share with other people. If you ever come to the call, by the way, and you're ready to step up as a leader, and you hear that people are working to get there and you may be there first, step up and be the greeter. Step right up and say, hey, this is Joe in Florida, and our host will be here shortly. Let me take a minute to welcome some of you to the call. If you're here on the line, state your name and where you're from. Just simply step up to the plate and get it started. And this is how people support one another so that you start to say, oh, wow, I have people I can count on. There's people here that all work together as a collective team. And people start to feel that camaraderie, that community that we would like to build. And, the company, sometimes they're so new, you've got to start somewhere, so this is how you start. I don't care if it's the first 2 or 3 that come together and start doing this. It becomes contagious. So I want you to, when the lines are open, don't step back. It's okay if we're even crossing over one another, because the more levels of excitement we start to hear on the call, the more jazz we're going to get. And pretty much, I don't want to really hammer a lot of protocol on that. I just want to cover just that part. Now, just for fun, since we're doing protocol and we're talking about the telephone, let's talk about a 3-way call when you have somebody, a leader, doing your sale for you. Last night I had a great call. I had a great student on the line who was absolutely major attentively as he listened to me talk to his prospect. He listened to every key point, and he came in with the laughters when he needed to be, and he was just perfect as a student who will let the leader do the job, because that tells me a person is listening carefully and tentatively, that they're going to be able to emulate the answers to some of those questions that were asked. That's how you get that knowledge. So let your leader, once you've done your introduction, allow the leader to take your prospect where they need to go to answer their questions, to build the relationship, and for that to all become terribly important, by the way, to help you to get into the sales process and to bring them into your business and your family atmosphere, that we want to do that. Okay, so I love when somebody takes somebody to a website and they're getting them through their pipeline process. Simply text or Skype or send a voicemail. If you don't have Voxer, we make that a great tool, and it's V as in Victor, OXER.com. Voxer.com is a great gift for you to have and for you to give. It's a good communication tool. It actually takes every phone, makes them compatible, bypasses your telephone minutes, and allows you to use it around the world. And it's a great way to communicate, and it allows you to talk instead of do all the typing. But you can still text, and you can send files and photos. And so there's just a little free infomercial right there about a tool that will help you to have great communication, especially with your support line. If we're all on that, you can put your own teams in groupings and just say, hey, a reminder that there's a training today, or looking forward to hearing you on the overview call, or call and get your guest in a half hour, we're having a training. It's a great way for you to step up as a leader as you start putting some of your team members together, and they all have that tool as well, so you start a great communication with your team. Okay. Here's what I wanted to go into today. So I wanted to cover some protocols, so we all kind of have some ground rules that we know that we have to kind of teach, follow, and be a part of, and pass that on by our example.